All right, Christopher, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go now.
Well, first off, everyone, this is my good friend, Christopher Sigmann from Forever Paper. This is going to be your final show with us in Forever, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm gonna leave forever end of the month, and yeah, this will be my final show with you guys. Really excited to do it.
Yes, well, it's very bittersweet. But with that, thank you again. Oh, thank you for joining us. And also thank you for the great freebies that you're going to be giving away. So guys, participate in the chats. And I have a bunch of free samples of the sublimation to cotton stuff with the hot stamp foil. So participate in the chat and we'll pick some winners and I'll put it on our website next week who won. So with that, Chris, take it away, do your magic.
Thank you, Sprite. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris. I'm from Forever Transfer Paper here in Germany. And this here is our sublimation to cotton product presentation. I have a little presentation for you, so it's a little bit easier to understand what we are doing over here. First and foremost, we have 5 products in total we talk about. That's the camera over there. 5 products in total. And we're going to have Subli Light. We're going to have Subli Light Glitter. We're going to have Subli Dark Glitter. We have my favorite product, the Subli Finishing Foil with the metallic effects. And we're going to have Subli Flex 202, which is like a print and cut material, like a HTV-like material for dark shirts. And I also dabbled a little bit into bleaching stuff because I just like to try new things out. So let's just get started. Let me just share my screen for you. So you guys can see the presentation.
Sorry, that was my bad. You can do that now.
No, so got it. So let me just make this full screen so everybody can have a good view. So sublimation to cotton. Basically, what we're talking about is what exactly is the product? How is it different from sublimation, from actual sublimation? And why do we do this actually? So sublimation, as you most likely know, everybody that does sublimation knows sublimation is when a solid, when the particles in the ink, the pigments become from a solid state to a gas state, and then they basically migrate into light-colored polyester particles right away. And they basically dye the fabric. There is nothing on top of it. You really dye the fabric itself with regular sublimation. Sublimation dyes are translucent, so they have no opacity. That means it only works on light-colored garments. As soon as you go black, the black of the garment will overpower the sublimation dyes that you're using. And it only works on polyester garments or garments with a high polyester content. So what's the issue with cotton then? Cotton cannot trap sublimation dyes by itself. If you look on the picture that I have here on the screen, the left-hand side is regular sublimation dye on a Fruit Loom cotton t-shirt. And these printouts look really, really faded. And if you need at least a 50% polyester content to get at least some vibrant prints. 50-50 basically means that the 50% that is polyester will get sublimated, the dye will stick to it, and the cotton part will fade out pretty much after the first wash. If you look on the right-hand side, it's the same graphic on a cotton t-shirt as well, but with a special sublimation paper, the Forever Subli Light No Cut. And this allows us to decorate cotton garments with our existing sublimation printer with the same sublimation ink. And this in total, basically, let me just show you what you need. You need an existing sublimation printer. We do recommend Sawgrass printers because the paper transport system is the best in the market. It's basically used to develop the product, but it also works on most Epson printers. Some Epson printers will leave a little pizza roller, like an ink roller mark on it. Some others doesn't. So it's basically take a sample pack, try it out. Often it's quite a little bit playing with the settings, and then you can make it work on Epson as well. It works with just regular sublimation ink, like the SubliJet HD or the SubliJet Ultra HD, for example. You don't need any special powders or any special chemical treatments, like you don't need to spray something onto it and wait for it. It's a single sheet system, so there's no A to B marrying, and it works on cotton and cotton polyblends the same way. So the vibrancy on the garment will be the same, regardless if it's cotton or cotton polyester blends. The 5 products we're going to talk about will be the Subli light cotton for white and light colored cotton garments, like a white t-shirt, a light gray, like a heifer gray. The Subli light glitter, which is also for the same type of garments, like white and light colored cotton garments, but it has glitter particles onto it. We also have the Subli dark glitter, which has glitter particles plus a white opaque layer to block the dark t-shirt color. We have the Subli no-cut finishing foil for metallic finish, which is basically a 3-step process, but we get over this in detail when we get to it. And the SubliFlex 202, which is a print and cut material for dark and light colored t-shirts. Let's just jump right into the first product, the Subli Light. You can see the settings, the applications, you can see the wash cycles, the washing instructions on the presentation. You can download the presentation in the Hoover app. It's as a Dropbox download in one of the questions. If you don't find it, just type it into the chat. I will post it later on as well. So basically, is it a fulfillment of everybody's dream, sublimation onto cotton? And no, it is not. You can decorate cotton garments, but with some limitations. The limitations are it only works with saturated, full tone, bold colors. So what you see here in the examples over here, for example, is a full tone black, reds, yellows, greens, but all of these are vector images, as you can see. There are no photographs, because in photographs you have a lot of gradients, and the Subli Light product will not work with gradient designs like pastel tones, lighter skin tones, sky blues, and so on, where you don't print a lot of ink. This will not transfer. So it's more for like illustrations and vector artwork. It needs bold full tone colors, preferably of a CMYK color value of over 120%. What does that mean? When you look here on the left-hand side, you can see a couple of squares, and in these squares, there are a couple of figures. This is our color chart that you can download if you visit foreverots.com, or if you scan the QR code if you download the presentation later on. Basically, red, for example, contains out of 100% magenta, 100% yellow, no black, no cyan, 100% yellow and 100% magenta. If you add this together, it is 200%. This means the CMYK value is bigger than 120. So this is the color that works. If you have a color, let's say, like in the example, 50% cyan and 12% yellow, you have added up together 62%. So this is a too light color. This color will not work. Best is simply to design in CMYK for this particular application and just print out the color chart so you know which colors will work and which colors don't work. Yes, CMYK, not RGB. You can also design an RGB, but to calculate which colors work better, it's easier to do this in CMYK because it's additive instead of subtractive color range. We will get into that today. For the Sawcross printers, there's a special profile available. For the SG400, SG800, and the Virtuoso Print Manager, there's a so-called Forever Edition that you have to enable. And on the SG500, SG1000, with the Sawcross Print Manager, like the newer version, you can just select the substrate cotton, and you will find Forever Subli Light and Forever Subli Light Glitter as selectable papers. And you will have a better ink output and higher ink output, so your transferable color range will increase. For Epson printers, you just work with standard print driver because there is no Sawcross Print Manager. You basically just select something like high quality inkjet paper, so it feels a bit slower and you print a little bit more ink. Crucial for this system is that we use the paper while it's wet. Let me just fixate. Yeah, there we go. We use the paper while it's wet. So let me just do one example for you. This here is the Subli Light paper. Let me just show you the back side of it so you can see it a little bit better. Does the camera pick it up? Yeah, now it should be good. Basically, it has a backside print that says forever. Subli light. I hope you can read it. It's like an orangey print. The other side is just plain white. You do print on the plain white, sort of waxy side. With, in this case, we're using a Sawcross SG800. Let's feed it in. There we go. We select our graphic. Let me just do this real quick. This is this computer over here. One of my favorite graphics, the Safety Llama graphic.
You guys keep your mics muted for me, please.
So now the virtual print manager is just loading the file for a second. There we are. Make sure your page is always mirrored when you print out. And what you want to do is always preheat your garment. So just change the camera for you so you can see a little better what I'm doing. This is our heat press. We're going to use 360 degrees Fahrenheit. We have a Bella canvas 100% cotton garment over here. We preheat the garment basically for the same time as the printer needs to print the page. Like this. The page comes out really, really wet. Just move this in the camera so you can see it a little bit better. Or we just use this camera, that might be a bit better. It comes out really, really wet. See that? You do want to use it while it's wet. It's really important because on the paper itself, there's a special coating on the paper that will activate it. It will be activated when it's wet. It's moisture activated. And if you use inks with a high color content, like here, solid blacks, solid purples, the yellow tone over here, then you have basically more moisture on the paper, then it will release. We just cover this up with some parchment paper or anything. Once you place the paper on the garment, you don't want to move it anymore. Now we're pressing this for 30 seconds onto the garment with, again, 360 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a little bit lower than regular sublimation on polyester, simply because cotton garments tend to burn a little bit, or they tend to turn a little bit yellowish, brownish when you heat them up too much. We want to avoid that, and we just use a little bit lower temperature, which is about 360 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to move the paper away. And now what you want to do is you want to peel while it's hot. It doesn't move, so there's no shadowing, no ghosting. It has some kind of a sticky texture to it, which prevents ghosting. And now we do have our Save the Drama for the llama print on our cotton t-shirt. Let me just show you how the print looks like here on my detail cam and a close-up cam. So just to confirm, let me just zoom in. Bella canvas, I hope you can read it. That might be a little bit too small for the camera. 100% cotton. Yeah, okay, should be readable. Great. So, and now we have here our print onto it. and you can feel the print. Let me just move out a little bit. So you can feel the print, it leaves a texture onto it, but it's a very light texture. While sublimation on polyester would be like a 10 out of 10, you can't feel anything. This here is really light, it's stretchable, it doesn't crack. And I would say it's more like an 8 out of 10. And this coating, like this texture, is only there wherever there's ink. Like here in the blank parts over there, there's nothing. It's just pure cotton garment. While this here, wherever there is some text or wherever there's image, there you can feel the paper. Now the paper we're feeling more like a little bit of a rubbery texture, I would say. And basically this is how the whole process works for all the papers. So the Forever Subli Light, just see if I can show you this, has a special coating onto it. And I pull this apart, just zoom in. There is some sort of coating, like some sort of film onto it. This is the magic powder. Like this is the magic essence. And we can transfer onto cotton with this material because this coating, this film that you just saw, that will stick to the garment wherever there's enough ink. And this way we can decorate a cotton garment. The garment by itself is not as long lasting as regular dye sublimation, because with regular dye sublimation, we dye the fabric itself, so you can't rub it off, you can't wash it off. This here will last about 20 to 30 washes, give or take. We do recommend a cold wash, preferably hang dry, which would be the best condition. But if you do it in a gentle dry, it should be fine as well. I have a couple of washed examples later on that I can show you, but let me just move over to the next product, which is, I think it's a funnier one. The Subli Light Glitter, this case on a bleached t-shirt. Let me just show you this close up. This is like self-weeding glitter vinyl. It has a more like a subtle glitter effect to it. And is pretty much the same thickness as the regular Subli Light product. And the way this works is we do have a special transfer paper with glitter particles already onto it. And the procedure is the very exact same procedure. Let me just show this in a close-up cam. So this is the printout, and this here is the paper by itself. This is the backside, also an orange backside print, Forever Glitter. And this here, like this gray, corny dust over here, these here are the glitter particles. And the way we work with it, let me just show you that. We take the paper as it is, put it into our printer with this side, like the printed side, facing up, the side of the backside print. Put into it. And now let's just print the same graphic or something else. What do you want to see? Let's do the fish. I like the fish one. You can't see right now the graphic, but just give me a second. It just needs to load a little bit. While this one is printing, let me just show you another example that I did recently, basically 4th of July. This has been for the 4th of July, like a little burger party that we did back then. This is the new shirt, and I have the same shirt washed 5 times already. Just print that out. There we go. Can you see the glitter particles? This is it brand new. And this here next to it, just put it side by side, is it washed and tumble dried 5 times already. Let me just wait until this one is finished. Otherwise, the printer might be too loud to hear me. There we go. Going to preheat the garment again. So this is better now. So we're going to preheat the garment again. We're going to use this fish printout over here on the glitter paper. Just preheat it so the moisture comes out. You basically see when you have preheated enough if some steam's coming up. That's the indicator that you have preheated enough, which I usually preheat for the same time as the printer needs to print, like 20-30 seconds around that. So let me just press that onto the garment so you can see how the glitter works. And in the meantime, I'm just going to show you the washed glitter example. Just go back a little bit to the camera. There we are. This here in my hand is the washed one, but 5 times in tumble dryer. And this here in my left hand, this is the brand new one. You can see that the left hand is a little bit glossier. The new one has more glitter particles onto it. But even after 5 washes, this still is nice and glittery and does look great. When you go into darker garments, for example, now here in a light gray, obviously the light gray color will influence the printed colors as well. So your colors will turn out a little bit darker. And I especially like these glitter items or this glitter paper for designs that you don't want to read out. Like for example, this distressed look over here. We have a lot of empty space in here. We have a lot of unprinted space over here, like these little droplets. These spaces over here, and whatever printed, oh, this is a good one. Let me just show you this way. So wherever we have, this here is the glitter particles, and wherever we have printed, like over here, the glitter particles came off. They are now on top of our print. You see that? There they are. What you want to do to finish these prints is basically just cover it with some parchment paper like so. Let's change the camera so you can see it a little bit better. There we are. Just cover it up with some parchment paper, repress it to really seal it in. Yes, only where you print it will transfer. It's not allowed to dry, because otherwise it becomes unusable, because what activates it is basically the moisture that's sitting on top of the paper. So the moisture of the ink will activate the transfer. Now this is completely finished, nice and soft, stretchable, and not thick at all. So this is really nice for like birthday parties, weddings, stag nights, all these kind of things. Or just like typically girly shirts. That's typically what you do with glitter. So one of my favorite products, let me just skip to that right away, is the hot stamping foil. I hope you can read it. Fabric softener, yes, you can use fabric softener. What happens if the ink dries before you press it? If the ink dries, you have too less moisture on the film that's on the paper, and this film is moisture activated, so it will not transfer completely. So the typical window that you have is like 5 to 10 minutes. So print out, 5 to 10 minutes, then press. And what I do typically is I push the print button, press it, and push print button for next time. When this comes out, I press the next one. So this here is one of my favorite items. It is hot stamping foil. I think Sprite loves it as well. Let me just show you this from top down.
Hey, Christopher, on that, the paper bag that's behind you, what did you use on that?
The paper bag, this here is like this logo. I need to change the camera so you can see me. This paper bag over here. This here is hot stamping foil as well, just not done with the Subli Light. This was done yesterday with the Oki White toner. Like this logo over here and this text was done with Oki White toner, but the metallic effect on a textile garment is something you can do with the Subli Light and the Subli finishing foil as well, so like this one over here. And do you know what's inside, right? This is an extra giveaway that you don't know about that I decided just yesterday on. Some extra hot stamping foil, 10 in total for one lucky winner.
Fantastic. I do love that hot stamping foil.
Okay, let me just show you how the hot stamping foil works. Basically, it is a little bit more complicated. So Subli Light, as you probably saw, print on the page, make sure it's full tone colors like a solid red, solid green, the black stays, good. Solid green, solid blues, like these kind of things, like really full tone bold colors, pressed while wet on light colored garments like white, heifer gray, maybe this sort of orange would be probably basically testing the limits, or you just bleach it like I did over here. When you bleach, you do want to bleach the shirt first before you transfer onto it with this material. So let's just move over to the Subli finishing foil, one of my favorite products. You have the Subli Light paper. You have a single color artwork. Let's say it's just solid black something. Let's just use a text, for example. Use this into the printer. Let's use this one here, a coffee design. And print.
Hi, my name is Subli.
And if let's choose what color do we take? Let's use the bleached shirt over here, this one over here, for a metallic design. We just preheat it like we do with all shirts. And then we cover it up with something of your preference. Any preference, like we have rainbow, we do have red hologram, and we do have like, we call this autumn gold, fall gold, like for pumpkin season, pumpkin gold maybe.
Hey, Chris, how do you do the balloon? Did you do it with a white toner transfer as well?
I did it yesterday with the white toner transfer as well. Just show this close up while the printer is printing. So this here is the balloon. This was done with a white toner printer yesterday. This works with 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so very, very low temperature with the Forever Laser Dark low temp. Doesn't want to stay. Move to the side. So now I have my printout over here, and I do have like a single color artwork. You can do it in just black, just purple, just blue, doesn't matter so much. The easiest one to remember is just print it in pure black, and then we just put it on our t-shirt as it is. Just change the bird's eye view. What you want to do is preheat your garment first, just a couple of seconds. And what I do over here is just cutting off the top, so it's easier for me to align. But you don't need to do that actually. It's just for me, so I can align it a little bit easier. This was about 20 seconds. So now it's nice and flat. And I'm gonna do and align this over here. Just like that. Once you touch it, once it touches the garment, you don't want to move it anymore. You cover this with some parchment or some Teflon or whatever you have at hand and press it. Let me just move this to the side. after we pressed it, we're going to have a special transparent adhesive film that we put on top. This has been for about 20 seconds. It should be enough to apply the graphic. There we go. Now we have a purple design on our garment. Here we are. Brewed, fresh, and tasty coffee. Then we take this transparent film. One side is a little bit stickier, one side is super smooth. On the sticky side, just move this to the close-up cam. On the sticky side, you can actually scratch off something. On that side, you can scratch off something. Let me just see if I can get this sharper. There we are. This side is a side that should face up. Just do it like that. And press it for another 10 seconds. What happens now is on this film that we just put on top, there's a special adhesive that will only bond wherever there is the design. And with this adhesive, we can make use of it and place, I'll just change the camera for you so you can see better what I'm doing. With this adhesive, you can place metallic hot stamping foil on top of it. And these metallic hot stamping foils even work on dark colored garments. Is there any preference? Just see what the chat says.
I want the rainbow.
You want the rainbow? Let's just see rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. Okay, what does the clear sheet do? The clear sheet is basically just.
I want the rainbow.
Everybody wants rainbow, then everybody gets rainbow. These rolls here do have 36 feet length, about 12 inches width. So it's perfect for one complete printout. What you also can do is you can crumble them and crush them. Let's just do this for the middle. So just cut this out and cut this out. Just not to close the wrong camera, this one. And we just crumble this one in our hands to create a special effect. Can you see that? Like all these crumbles in there. This can give it a vintage effect. You just place the other one on top. You put some silicone paper or some parchment or some craft paper on top. This is just to get it protected from the heat press. And then we press it for about 25 to 30 seconds. What happens now, the adhesive that was on the clear film will connect together with the metallic foil. And while it's connecting now in this time, it will solidify and harden as soon as it gets cold again. And when we peel it off, only wherever we have the design, where the adhesive is sitting on top, it will grab the film. So let me just move this to the side, let it cool off. Now it's on here and has to cool. While this is cooling off, let me just show you one more thing, which is wrong side. The Subli dark glitter for dark colored garments. Because what you can't do with sublimation usually is print on dark colored shirts. And the Subli dark glitter, what it does, it has the glitter particles from the Subli light, but it also has some white protective layer that will block the shirt color underneath. So you can print multicolor glitter self-reading onto dark shirts. It will only work with glitter because the glitter particles by itself help us to highlight the colors as well. And the paper does look like this over here. Pretty much like the Subli light glitter. I'll just move this over here. The camera doesn't want to focus from, but just so this is, just focus the camera for you guys. There we are. So it looks almost like a plain white, but if you look closer, you can see some speckles in there. These speckles are the glitter particles. It is printed in blue on the backside, says Subli dark glitter. And it works the very exact same way as all the other papers. We put it into our printer. We do print a design. Do you want to use the same design or something else? Let's just use something else. I have a biker design somewhere here. Give me just a second to find it. There it is. It is also limited to just full tone colors, like only dark, bold colors. Still loading. Only dark, bold colors. That means you cannot print white, obviously, because there's no white ink in the printer. But what you can do to create a lighter color is, for example, print orange and yellow shades, like over here. See that? Wherever there is nothing printed, it's just black from the garment. It's nice and stretchable. And all the other colors are just printed from the sublimation printer. It's a bit limited in functionality because it only works with dark colors, and we quite seldom print dark colors onto dark shirts. But same as the Subli light glitter, it can be used for some quite cool cheerleading shirts or just a funny Christmas shirts, these kind of things. Prices are available on oh, there it is. Prices are available on condi.com. Packaging size, depending a little bit on the price, depending on the packaging size, from 5 sheets up to 100 sheets in a box. Pretty much everything is available. If you just want to try yourself out, want to try everything, you can also use the Subli light or the Subli no-cut sample pack. So same procedure as every time. We have our design over here, just red and yellow, like full tone colors. And we place it on top of our garment. Let me just switch the camera for you guys. You can actually see what I'm doing over here. And press for the same exact time and temperature. With just a little bit more pressure for this material on your garment. Typically, we do use medium pressure. So if you have a Geonite DK20S, for example, use a 5, 6 in that range. Let me just see. Hard substrates? No, it doesn't work on hard substrates. It will only work on substrates that are porous, like textiles. You can use it on polyester and on cotton as well. Everything that is heat resistant to at least 360 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me just change the camera for you. There we go. And again, hot peel, like everything.
Hey guys, if y'all can keep your mics on mute, and just so you know, if you hit the space bar, it will unmute you. And I think that's what's happening. So just keep yourselves on mute so we can hear Christopher. Thank you.
So this is now our This is again sublimation inks onto a dark shirt, this time a dark gray. Only bold solid colors like a solid yellow and a solid red. The yellow actually turns out a little bit goldish. Let me just show you this close up after I finish this print. Just a couple of seconds, like at least 15 seconds, but that would be 30. And it's done. Let me just show you how this looks close up. So the camera over here. How do you like it? Let me just see what the chat says. I'm very organized. No, I just act like it.
That was very nice.
Okay, I have one more product and then we can experiment a little bit more because I have a feeling you guys like the snapping foils, right? So we're gonna do one more of these. But first off, let me just show you the Subli Flex 202, which is a vinyl-like material. Like all these materials that I just showed you only work with like vector design artwork. They work with, oh, I just see that I didn't peel off the hot stamping foil. Like with vector design artwork, like no photographic images. And one product that works with photographic images would be Subli Flex 202. Subli Flex 202 is a vinyl-like material, like this one over here. It comes in white with a transparent backing sheet. Just change it up for you. You print it with your regular sublimation printer, obviously mirrored. You cut it out with a cutter, like a Cricut or like a little brother. Doesn't need to be something specific. And then you weed it out. Let me just see. I started this somewhere. So it goes a bit faster. There it is. Then just weed it out and only keep the actual image on the transparent carrier sheet. This is good for even photographic images, like, for example, this New York text over here with the New York skyline in the background. I think it's even the Times Square, if I'm not mistaken. But instead of just watching the reading, let's just use the prepared one. So you can do photographic artworks like here in the Marvel text over here. You can do this kind of artwork. And the way this works is pretty much similar. You cut it, you weed it, and you just cut it when it's dry. So in this case, you can wait. You're not in a rush to finish something. Again, we just preheat our cotton garment just to get rid of the excess moisture. Like that. So it's nice and smooth. There are no wrinkles anymore. And then we're going to use our design. Now you might wonder, hey, the ink is on here. Why are we pressing it this way? Because the magic is, this is all sublimation ink. So the sublimation ink will migrate from the bottom to the top and will come out on top. It will give you nice, vibrant prints. What you want to do is, you want to put 3 or 4 parchment papers on top of it, just to increase the pressure. This product likes a lot of pressure. Then you press it for about 30 seconds before you peel it off. While this is waiting, let me just show you how the rainbow foil came out. So let me just move this back a little bit. There we are. You just peel it like that. This is how it comes out. And the last one. Vintage effect. You can really see the vintage effect over here. I'm going to show you this close up. So let me just show you this close up first. Like this here are the crinkles over here. And on a W, for example, you can see this really well. So if you like the crinkle effect, just crinkle it. If you don't like it, just do it like over here on the right-hand side. And there's no crinkle effect at all, just rainbow. Just put this to the side. You can actually reuse those here. Like if you have some leftovers, like this part over here, just cut it out, maybe crinkle it, maybe just do a couple leftovers on one shirt. Actually, just let's do that. Let's do that. Let me just collect all these leftovers and do a couple of different colors onto one shirt. And then you have your rainbow shirt combined with bleach on a cotton garment with your sublimation printer, just with regular sublimation ink. So let's move back to Subli Flex. If I change it to my bird's eye cam, you can see that the colors came out on top. This is how it looked like before we pressed it. This is after we pressed it. So the dyes actually migrated to the top. We have a nice vibrant print out. This is a cold peel. So we just put it to the side and let it cool off. If you want to cool it down a bit faster, let's just use a tablet. Yes, the foil actually lasts, I would say, about 30, 40 washes. Let me just show you a washed example from the last time, actually. This one and this one. I think this is from last year's open house. This has been washed. And this here has been washed as well. It's a little bit more. This was the marking, no marking, probably just like 5-10 times. This here definitely about 30 times. The colors are compared to a new one, not as vibrant as it was before. We just change the camera so you can see it a bit better. Yes, there's a feel to the image, but it's more like a rubbery, almost foily texture. Like you feel the texture of the foil. So this here is washed like probably 20, 30 times. You can see how the garment looks like, especially over here. This definitely has seen a couple of rounds in the washing machine. And everything is still on here. This is the brand new foil. Nice and shiny. It is not as shiny anymore as it was before, but it's still on there. It still looks great. So I definitely don't worry about washing with this product. When this is cold, like it is right now, like it has to be like room temperature cold, you just peel it off like this. This is now very shiny, very plasticky. What you want to do is give it a second press with some parchment paper. The parchment paper will matte it down so it's only a semi-gloss anymore, not a full gloss, and we'll drive it deeper into the textile fibers. So any further questions? Forever glossy finishing paper is not required, but I would recommend it for like the hot stamping foil because of the metallic finish, and for the glitter products because the glossy paper gives it more like a sheen to it, like a shine to it, like an additional one. You can do that as well if you want to. We still have like 10 minutes, correct, right? So I'm not under pressure.
Actually, you have about a minute left.
A minute left. Oh, it's just until 50. Yeah. Then I'm pretty much finished then. So glossy finishing paper is only needed, for example, for like the metallic finishes, just to give it some extra shine, not required, but it can look better if you like it. Otherwise, you can just do something like parchment or a Teflon sheet.
Thanks.
Any further questions? Let me just see. Thank you. Thank you. You can see this product demonstration from last year. It was pretty much about the same topic from the last year's open house. It's already on Condi TV on YouTube. And this one over here is going to be recorded and will be ready for review, I think about 5 to 10 days. I don't know how busy Sprite is. Maybe a couple of days.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of days before I can upload it, but it's all recorded. And yeah, I want to thank you very much. Everybody, thanks for watching. Christopher, you're always fantastic.
Thank you, Sprite. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. I have 10 rolls of hot stepping foil over there. I send it to you, Sprite. You decide who gets it. Good luck to everybody.
I'll put the winners up in a couple of days. Bye, Christopher.
Thank you. Bye-bye.